Okay, look, I think that there's something that y'all are not understanding about Renee Good's murder by an ICE agent in Minnesota. I'm seeing an awful lot of people saying, well, if they can shoot a white lady in the face in broad daylight, that's going to get a lot of people to flip, right? Or the other thing that people are saying is like, if they can shoot a white lady in the face in broad daylight and get away with it, we're all cooked, right? Sentiments like this one.
I know that this is going to come off so insensitive, but I literally don't know how else to say this. If a white woman can get shot in the face by basically executive order, we are done for. We are done for. If this is not the catalyst to a revolution, this is it.
Okay, one, there's no such thing as it's over and we're cooked, right? That's not a thing. That's apocalyptic thinking, and it's not real. It's not based in reality. But second, no matter which side of that you fall on, either this is the thing that's going to wake MAGA up and they're going to turn against the tyranny of the federal government, or like, oh shit, they're not turning when they see a white woman shot in the face. We're fucked. Either way, you don't understand how white people think. I really built my main TikTok account before all of this nightmare that we're living now, debunking white supremacist conspiracy theories, particularly those around abducting protected white women and their children for human trafficking. Right? The mom who was snatched out of the detergent aisle at Target, the mom who claimed that her daughter was almost kidnapped out of an Old Navy in order to be trafficked. And I think that those conspiracy theories have perpetuated this belief that white men actually care about white women, that they actually care about protecting white women. White men love to commit violence against women, and they kind of like watching other white men commit violence against women. All of those conspiracy theories, all of this part of the patriarchy of like, we have to protect our women, we have to defend our women, including all of the like transphobic, we have to protect women from trans people in women's bathrooms. All of these trafficking conspiracy theories were about protecting white women from black and brown men. All of those narratives, like you can go back and watch all my old videos, all of these conspiracy theories revolve around black and brown men kidnapping white women and white children. They were never actually about protecting white women at all. What they were about was giving white men, one, an excuse to brutalize black and brown men. If you portray all black and brown men as what? Violent sex offenders who want to rape your women, then you have an awful lot of room to assault them, to dehumanize them, to commit violence against them, to abduct them and stuff them into concentration camps. Do you understand? The second part of that is that if white women are perpetually at risk of being victimized by everybody else in society, if white women could be abducted from Target parking lots, abducted from the Costco detergent aisle, that creates a narrative where we are constantly in a heightened state of anxiety. We have to be hypervigilant. We have to be fearful of everybody else around us, especially black and brown people who otherwise would be our allies, and we would be in solidarity with them against a shared oppressor. So that oppressor has to create a narrative that makes us fearful of those people and never be able to connect with them. And likewise requires us to take up an awful lot of bandwidth, being hypervigilant all the time, worried that everybody out there is going to assault and victimize and abduct and traffic us. It is a very easy way that white men can justify isolating and controlling women. It also justifies like all of the patriarchy. They need to be controlling. They need to protect us, right? They need to keep us safe. Wow, it sounds an awful lot like the Trump regime. They have to take away more and more of our rights. They have to put ICE goons in our cities to protect us, to keep us safe from anybody who is black and brown, anybody who is an immigrant, anybody who is here from Somalia, who is here from Central and South America. Anybody who isn't another white man. They've got to take away our rights in order to keep us safe. what the regime is doing is that wonderful utilization of that trifecta of oppression that has been omnipresent in the US this whole time. The patriarchy, white supremacy, and capitalism. It's just they just cranked it up to 11. But when you see ICE agents shooting white women in the face, that's not going to flip white men, especially because that's just the embodiment of a system, that trifecta system that they benefit from, they want to reinforce, and they like low-key enjoy violence against women. And so you might ask, well, what about MAGA women? What about them? Is this going to cause them to peel off from MAGA? Is this going to be the final straw from them? They saw another woman shot in the face. Is this the thing that gets them to abandon the cult? And unfortunately, I don't think you understand how white women who are deeply indoctrinated in the patriarchy and white supremacy are. So many white women feel that if they go along with white supremacy, if they go along with the patriarchy, they can carve out a little bit of safety and protection for themselves. This is the reason that White Woman Whisperer says that white women are the men of women. White women will throw everybody else under the bus to try and create a little bit of safety for them in a system where they know that they're being oppressed by men, where they are fearful of men. White women will put on this performance. They will simp for their oppressors. They will be complicit in their own oppression in every single way because they are operating out of this mindset that they will be a little bit safer under the patriarchy if they go along with white supremacy and they go along with the patriarchal system. And that's a lie. They've been indoctrinated to not be able to see that there's freedom on the other side, right? Deconstructing from white supremacy and the patriarchy and capitalism. There's freedom on the other side for women. They've been told their whole lives that the best you can do is try to keep yourself as safe as possible within this system where you are oppressed. So no, unfortunately, I don't think that for people who are deeply, deeply entrenched in MAGA, I don't think for most of them, seeing a white woman shot in the face is going to cause them to flip. I don't think that that's going to be a final straw for very many people. I also think, this crowd, the type who believe in these trafficking conspiracy theories, that would be evangelical Americans, LDS Americans, who buy into all of this, like we got to protect our women. Women are the weaker vessel. Women have to be cherished. There are set gender roles. There's federal headship. Whatever they believe about submission of women to men, all of that bullshit. This is also the same kind of subculture that has been taught to suppress empathy. They've been denied chances to cultivate the skill of empathy. And also you're seeing more and more from evangelical America, this framing of empathy as a weakness, as a sin, which is weird because that's what Elon Musk says. He's definitely not a Christian, right? He says that our greatest weakness as humans is our sense of empathy. So you combine that, like, white men have no problem with violence against women. White women have been indoctrinated to believe that they have to throw other women under the bus in order to carve out some measure of comfort for themselves in a patriarchal system, and maybe some safety, although there's no real, hey ladies, there's no safety for you in a system of white supremacy and patriarchy. I promise you, been there, done that. There is no safety for you. Yeah, ladies, we wish that you could see that what happened to Renee means that you can be shot in the face in broad daylight by an ICE agent who will get away with it. You will never get justice. Your children will be orphaned. You will never be safe in this system. But unfortunately, I think most of y'all won't see that coming out of this. You will find justifications to make sure that you continue to uphold your worldview, that if you throw people like Renee under the bus, if you come up with excuses about why she deserved it, then you will stay safe, especially if you perform for white men in the system, this little display of like, well, she had pronouns in her Instagram bio. Oh, she clearly deserved it. She clearly must have done something wrong. If you think that you do that performance for white men in the system and then that will make you safe, you're deluding yourselves. But to anybody who thinks that what happened to Renee is going to get white MAGAs to flip, I don't think that that's the thing for many of them, unfortunately.